This is what makes you an aim god. So I can track, I can shoot, I can ADS, I can track him while ADSing, I can track him at different distances, medium range, I can still track him, long range, I can still track him, and that's what I want. I want to be able to track him at every distance and still have that god level aim so that in game, I can actually hit my shots and sweats do not outshoot me. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Santos here, and today I will reveal to you what I did to stop dying to sweats. Now right now I'm maining DMZ, but I have mained BR for many seasons. I've got about 14 legendaries in BR, and I actually started playing controller. I am a 33-year-old guy. I used to play controller as my main form of gaming, and when I got into COD Mobile, I realized that I was getting wrecked over and over again, and one day I just had enough and I had to find a way to make it stop, because it's just not fun to continue to die to sweats, and it's just not fun. Winning is fun, and I felt like I was completely unable to even get close to winning. And so I was very methodical about how I went about doing this, and I actually have documented my process as I've gone along and worked on this. So today I'm going to be revealing the steps I took to get here, and hopefully they can help you to improve your game and stop dying to sweats. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Santos. I'm a legendary DMZ Call of Duty mobile player. And in the first 4 days of DMZ dropping, I actually managed to get into the top 1,000. Took me about 100 crates to unlock the Quiji skin. I made a video on how to do this, and now I create tutorials and guides for those of you who are interested in grinding DMZ, whether it's for getting the Quiji skin or simply because you enjoy the game mode. And there's so much to learn and understand about this game that I create guides and tutorials and reveal to you what the best tips and tricks are so that you can become a better player, dominate, have fun playing the game. So if you're into this kind of thing, you're in for a treat in today's video. Thank you so much for being here today and watching. So there are 3 major reasons why a sweat is outplaying you. And the first one is their setup, right? They just have a better setup, be it their settings, be it their device, be it their Wi-Fi, their setup is superior. Second is sensitivity. Sensitivity has to be dialed in. A sensitivity that allows you to be an aim god is the goal here, and the sweats have it. If you haven't figured out how to tune your sensitivities, I'm going to show that to you here today. And reason number 3 is that sweats are superior in their movement, right? They have certain movements that they do when they're in combat that make them very difficult to hit and also make them very deadly. And so those 3 things, if you can just solve those 3 things or improve on them wherever you can, right? If you can't totally improve your setup, then improve your aim. If you can't totally improve your aim, then improve your movement. And if you can get all 3, congratulations, baby. You have become a sweat yourself. And as they say, if you can't beat them, join them, right? Is all about sensitivity tuning. This is what makes you an aim god. When you have tuned sensitivities, you can actually hit your shots and not be all over the place panicking with your crosshair going everywhere. No, this is how you become an aim god. You do what's called sensitivity tuning, okay? So basically you come into the training ground, and first and foremost, you got to make sure that your rotation mode is what you want it to be, right? Fixed speed, distance acceleration, or speed acceleration. I have tried all 3, and I'm currently on fixed speed because I use an iPad and I have plenty of space to move my fingers around. So I don't have any problem with fixed speed. If you are on a smaller device, you might be better off trying distance or speed acceleration. I used to use speed acceleration. It doesn't really matter which one you use because it's just what fits well for you. So I suggest you try all 3. The only thing to keep in mind is that try to use the lowest acceleration value possible. The lowest acceleration value, the lower your acceleration value, the more predictable your swiping and your movements are going to be. So try to keep it as low as possible. Maybe use 40, 50, 80, 120. Just kind of stick in this range down here as low as you can. That's going to allow you to feel comfortable with your device, but also be predictable. So once you have your rotation mode set up, like I said, I use fixed, then you can go into the training grounds and pull a bot. So let's go ahead and get a bot out here. Let's just put him here up close. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to track him. We're not going to shoot him. We're just going to ADS in and try to chase his head. And you can see that my crosshair is literally not able to stay on his head. And that's because I haven't tuned my sensitivities yet. And I can track him for a little bit, but then I lose him. So what that means is that my sensitivity is actually too high. So I can come in here and change my ADS sensitivity. In this case, it's going to be my red dot because I have a red dot on. And I was at 285. Let me try 260, see how that is. Okay. You can see now that I'm a little bit better at tracking, but I'm still losing him. I'm not able to catch up with him, and then I'm overshooting him. So again, I'm going to come into sensitivity and drop that down. And this is just a process. So you go through and you find the sensitivity that suits you, that you are able to track. This is why it's not a good idea to copy someone else's sensitivities, or, just kind of slap on some recommendation that the game gives you. Better to tune what fits you, your hand, your device, the way that it works for you. And as long as you can track this guy decently well, then you can move on. All right, so next drill is I stand facing to the right, and I swipe all the way to the left to test my range of motion on the edge of the left side of my range of motion. So now I'm testing the edges of my movement here, and it looks like I can track him still. It's really difficult to track him all the way to the left because my thumb just barely even goes that far. But that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to test at the edges, and I can mostly do it here. It's decently well. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go this way now to the right, turn left from the center to the left, and then swipe right and see if I can hold this guy, track him. Yes, I can. All right, I'm happy with that. I can track the guy pretty well. No big deal. Now I'm going to test my my firing. Make sure I can track him while firing. So yes, it looks like I can. Let me double check what I have it on. Sensitivity, red dot 190, red dot 1. Let's put it at 180. Okay. Yes, smooth. Alright, I can track. I can shoot, I can hit. Good. I feel good with ADS. Look, see, I can track the guy. I can track him. I'm going to introduce some movement left and right on my character. Strafing left and right, because that's normally what I'll do while shooting. Make sure I can still track him. Try to just get a little bit active with it. Make sure that I am dialed in. Dialed in. Looks good. Then I'm going to put him mid-range and repeat. Same exact thing. I can track him. I can shoot him. That's what I want. Perfect. Now I'm going to try far. Same exact thing. See how I can do. Tracking. Decent tracking. Now shoot. Okay, my shooting is there. Okay, cool. So now my sensitivity for ADS is tuned. Now I'm gonna work on my hip fire. So it's the exact same thing. I'm just gonna stand close to the bot, and I'm gonna track him. Can I track him? Yes, I can. Well, I'm a little bit far ahead of him. It's a little bit far on it. I'm a little bit jumpy, and I'm not totally able to track him. So I'm going to go to my sensitivity and go to steering, and I'm going to drop it to 70, maybe try 230. See how that is? Okay, that's better. Yeah, that's much better. Maybe 10 more points. I'm still overshooting him. And it's the exact same process that I was doing with the ADS, but now I'm doing it with hip fire. And there we go. That's much better. I can track him with ADS now. The only thing left to, with hipfire, the only thing left to do is for me to adjust the firing sensitivity for hipfire. So I'm at 215 I'm going to drop it to 200. I always like to go about 15 points lower when I'm firing, just to keep it stable. Here we go. Okay. So I can track. I can track while shooting. A little bit jumpy there. A little bit jumpy, but mostly good. Okay. I'm happy with that. So I can track. I can shoot. I can ADS. I can track him while ADSing. I can track him at different distances. Medium range. I can still track him. Long range. I can still track him. And that's what I want. I want to be able to track him at every distance and still have that god level aim so that in game, you know, I can actually hit my shots. And sweats do not outshoot me, you see? So now I'm tuned up. You can do this with different weapon types. You can do this with SMGs. You can do this with snipers. You can do this at different ranges, and you know, you can play with it so that you can get really comfortable with your sensitivity. Make sure you're tuned up and ready to go. And that's how you do it. That's how you stop letting sweats outshoot you, outbeam you, and you become the beamer. You start beaming sweats, right? So that's how you do it. Is all about movement. Becoming a movement god is really how you get to finally leveling the playing field and not dying to sweats anymore. And specifically, getting your movement and mastering your movement comes down to about 3 or 4 different movement categories. The first category is slide control. So slide control is about you being able to slide and turn freely. Okay, sliding and turning freely, it gives you such a huge advantage because you're able to do things like in a gunfight, slide and turn on your enemy. So that's a 180-degree slide and turn. Or being able to peek your enemy. So if you can come out of cover, peek, you can come back to cover, hide, peek, and hide. And you're also able to do things like jump off of walls, right? You can make yourself unpredictable by sliding into walls and then jumping off of them. So slide control has to do with you learning to slide and move your camera at the same time. Now you may be wondering, well, Santos, how am I supposed to do that if I only play 2 fingers? Well, my God, figure it out, because I got to tell you, everybody else is figuring it out. The sweats have figured it out. And if you don't figure it out, you're just going to keep dying to them. And the way I did it was I taught myself 5 fingers. Now, you don't have to do 5 fingers to be able to do this movement. You could just do 3, you could do 4, but definitely 2 makes it really hard to do this, because with 2, you have to slide and then turn your camera. Slide and then turn your camera, and it's harder. I mean, it can be done, but it's definitely harder, and you have to work faster. Your fingers have to move faster to be able to do it. I definitely recommend you get a 3-finger, 4-finger, or 5-finger HUD to be able to do this movement well. Now, the next category of movement has to do with jump control. Okay, so jump control is about you introducing some element of movement into your gunfights. So say you are peeking, you do your slide, and now you're jumping. You see, you can bunny hop while you're shooting, and you're actually dodging while also dealing damage to your enemy. So you can do jump and shoot, just jump and peek and shoot. That's one. Or you can jump, peek, and then bunny hop to make yourself harder to hit. This is the opposite of a drop shot, right? Because that's also another way that you can evade, right? And also deal damage. So you come out and you drop shot. That makes yourself a really small target on the ground. Obviously, a lot of people know the drop shot, but many people do not bunny hop. They don't realize, or they don't have the HUD to be able to do it. But if you can slide out and then jump, hey, drop shot, hey, get up, and now you're bunny hopping, oh my God, you become much harder to hit, right? And so jump control is about using your jumps to make yourself unpredictable, difficult to hit, while maintaining your accuracy. And if you've already tuned your sensitivities, then you can just work on your movement so that you can put the two together and become, well, really, you're becoming your very own sweat at this point. So this is what I did to make myself unpredictable, difficult to hit, while I hit back at the same time, right? So that is jump control. The next category of movement that you must master is weapon state. Okay, weapon state means that you have your weapon out and you're shooting, and then, oh man, they're shooting back at you. You need to move out of this position very quickly. What do? Do you turn and run slowly? No, you got to get out of this position. What you do is you put your weapon away, you slide, and you run off. So if you're using your weapon and you need to dodge or move, you've got to master weapon state control. That means put a weapon away and run, bring it back out and shoot. Okay, and again, that has to do with where your weapon switch buttons are in your HUD. If you're running a two-finger thumbs HUD, well, it's not going to be hard to do. Yes, it is. So most sweats play 3, 4, or 5 fingers for that reason. If you're shooting and you need to run, you got to put your weapon away and slide and get out of the way. Come back out, peek them, shoot again. Oh, they shot at you? No, backslide, shot. You didn't have your weapon out and they're shooting, weapon out and shot, okay? So weapon state control has to do with you being able to control when your weapon is out and when your weapon is not out, so that you can speed up your movement, dodge, and reposition so that you can take the gunfight from a better position. So when you run, another key example of weapon control is when you run out of ammo and you're starting to reload, you need to know how to reload cancel. Oh, you're stuck reloading? Cancel by switching weapons and moving out of the way. You're going to reload now, switch and slide. So you slide reload, right? Instead of reloading while you're moving, nope, that's slow. Oh, this is the slowest way you can reload right here. No, you're not trying to reload like that. You're dead. You're dead to a sweat while you're reloading. Instead, you slide reload. That's quick. You didn't even slow down at all to get that reload in. You slide reload, you see? And so movement control, or rather weapon state control, is all about knowing how to bring your weapon out and how to put it away, how to reload while you slide, so you're not wasting time and slowing down when your weapon is out or when your weapon is reloading. Yeah. Now, the last category of movement that you must master is evasion. Okay, evasion is basically your defense. You don't always take on a gunfight. Sometimes you have to evade before you can fight. Sometimes you evade just long enough for them to shoot their clip and get stuck in a reload, and then you peek them. What is evasion? Well, evasion starts with zigzagging. 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 Juking. Juking, zigzagging. That's how you make yourself unpredictable, by zigzagging and breaking the enemy's ankles, right? So you must know how to zigzag. Not like this is too fast, but zigzagging. And yes, you can go fast, but you've got to mix it up so you become hard to hit. So evasion has to do with being able to zigzag. That's the first one. Also knowing how to wall jump. Okay, wall jump means you run up to an object, you slide, and then jump off of it. It makes you faster. It feels like you're moving faster when you're really not, but you're just bouncing off the wall, and it makes you harder to hit. So learn how to wall bounce, learn how to zigzag, and you are on your way to becoming an evasion master. Learn how to dolphin dive. Oh, they're shooting at you? Jump, duck, boom. Dolphin dive behind cover, and then get moving. Get moving, wait for them to shoot their clip, get back up, shoot them back. Change your weapon, slide out of the way, right? These are core movements that if you do not know how to do, it's just going to wreck you in the battlefield. You're not ever going to be able to take on a gunfight, and it means you're not really going to enjoy the game because other players can do these movements and you are just dying to them. So you must practice these movements, and you can practice them in here. You got the training grounds. You can practice them. If you're not using a three-finger loadout, well, what's happening is, you're not able to use all the movements. You're using a three-finger loadout, but you're not able to bunny hop. Well, then you just lost another tool. You lost a tool that you cannot use in the battlefield. And so I would recommend every player learn a four-finger loadout, at least. If you don't want to, then three-finger can be done. Broken, use the three-finger loadout, and I'll put it up here for you so you can see it. COD Narco uses a four-finger loadout. I'll show you what that looks like here as well, and I'll put up on my screen, my five-finger loadout, and this is something that has taken me many seasons, probably about 2 years now. But even though it took me 2 years to figure this out, it doesn't have to take you that long. I'm showing you everything that you have to learn. It took me a while because nobody was there to help me out. No one was there to show me what I needed to learn. And so hopefully by focusing on aim and movement and the exact movements for you to master. And using the template and example HUDs that I've showed you, you're able to shortcut your time. And instead of it taking 2 years, maybe it only takes 1 season. And I gotta tell you, it's super worth it, because if you spend your time racking up money, buying mythics, getting mythic armor, mythic gear, and doing all of the other things that you gotta do to be a great or a good DMZ player, but then you get into a gunfight and you just don't have aim, or you mess up your movement, you're gonna die anyways. You're gonna lose your gear, you're gonna lose your money. So you've really got to do this part, and you got to do this part really, really well for the other parts of the DMZ game mechanics to even matter. Because imagine you level up to be an aim god, you level up to master your movement, and then you pile on top of mythic gear, mythic weapons, a good team. Damn, you're going to be stacked and ready to dominate this game. So thank you for listening. Let me know if you have any questions, and if you don't have any teammates yet and you want to play with people who are committed to the grind, are grinding for Kuiji, actually enjoy DMZ and they want to play it, and you want people who are using mics, go ahead and jump into the Legend Discord server. You'll see we have a bunch of people in here looking for teammates all the time, people who have mics, people who have legendary gear, people who are actually trying to work with you and not just steal your loot and run off. So come on over, join the Discord community, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks again. Signing out. Bye.